What's up, guys? mcstu here, and today we got some announcements for 2024's event campaign. I believe this is event campaign number 6. We have the start date, and we have some major changes to the rewards that you're going to get. And this is something that you're not going to want to miss out on. You're going to want to make sure you're participating in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the start date, and we're going to do just a quick overview on what the event campaign is. So if you're new to the game, or maybe just showed up, maybe the middle of last year, which would, I guess, be new to the game. If you're not aware of how this works, we'll just do a brief overview, and then we'll talk about the changes. So let's start with when this starts. So starting on the 15th of this month, which is next week, we are going to have the start of this campaign or event. So let's just start with talking about the event itself. So the event's going to run from the 15th through the 7th of next month. So that's 21 days. And for this event, it's called Hold the Line at Pavo. And you have the opportunity by completing 14 days of the progress that you need. You will receive the Defense of Pavos, or what's it called? Pavos, I think it's defense set. Pavo space set is what they're calling it. Okay. And what that is going to include is going to be, let's just scroll down here, and I'm kind of just zipping through this because the point of this is this stuff's nice, but the event campaign portion of it's what's really important. So, but you're going to get an Omni, you're going to get a torpedo launcher, and we're also going to get a universal console. It's going to have some set pieces. I'll post a link to this blog in the description so you can go through and read the specifics that we have here. So essentially, this is an event like any other event that you would have in the game where you log in, you play a certain thing or do a certain thing. In this instance, you're going to have 2 choices, and each one you only have to run it 1 time per day for the 14 days. You have a total of 21 days to accomplish this, and it's either going to be a ground TFO, which is Pavo Dissension, or it's going to be Peril over Pavo if you want to do space. So all you have to do is just run one of these each day for 14 days, and that will get you the space set. So this is a standard event, basically like any other event. What's important about this is Star Trek Online years back started what's called an event campaign. And to make things less confusing, we're just going to call it the yearly campaign. Okay. And so the yearly campaign is a combination of multiple events like this particular one that run for 3 weeks or whatever throughout the year. And so certain ones of those events throughout the year are going to count towards the overall progress for the event or for the campaign. I have to train myself to make sure we're just calling it that. So I'll just give you kind of an example. You do this event, and then a month later there's another event, and you do that one. Those daily progress points are added into the overall campaign for the whole year, and that is going to accrue points for you throughout the year. And I have a one of my alt accounts here where I didn't complete last year, so I have the whole breakdown here. So this is the event campaign, and it is the large one, and it was made up out of 5 sub-events, okay, 5 3-week events that went on throughout the year. And as you did your daily progress for each of these events, per day, you would get 50 points towards this for a total of what you need of 3,500. Now, you could buy these out and get it done a little bit sooner. You can also continue to play these individual events past the completion point. And what I mean by that is, let's say on day 1, you start doing the current event, and on day 14 you complete the event and you get your stuff for it, you get the reward. Well, you still have 7 more days that are allotted to be able to complete the event. So you already have it done, but you can keep doing the event and continuing to get points for the actual campaign, which means that you could get a total of 1,050 points total per each of these sub events. And sorry, my dogs are chiming in for some reason, which means with these points here, you could complete the campaign in 4.5 of these, or 3.5 of these, and not even have to play the last one. So on my free-to-play account, my other free-to-play account, I didn't even play, I played it to get the stuff, but none of it counted towards the actual campaign. So again, just to kind of recap what the campaign is, it's a combination of multiple sub-events that happen throughout the year, which are going to gain you points. Once you get your reward for the sub-event, continue to play it until the sub-event is over, because you can continue to pick up those extra points that are going to count towards the yearly campaign here. So that's the gist on how the yearly campaign works. I'm sure most of you more than understand, even if you're new, how that the sub campaigns work as well. So, and maybe we'll do some additional videos on what's, the current one that's coming up, but it's pretty straightforward. You just log in, play the mission, you get points for it, and you'll be able to view that. It'll be in this tab as well. So when the new campaign starts, there'll be this campaign tab will get updated for me. It'll show up on your tab. There'll be another tab. Let's just pretend it's this one, and it'll be Hold the Line at Pavo event, and you'll be able to see the progress for that individual event there. Now, let's talk about the big changes that have happened. And I'm really, really pumped about this. So the main thing is that this year's campaign is going to be 6 events instead of just having the 5. So it's going to be, it's not longer because it's within a year, but there's basically going to be more to do in order to make up these points. Now, what's unclear, and I have a guess at this answer, but if it's now going to be 5 events instead, or 6 events instead of 5, is this total number going to go up to maybe, I don't know, 4,000 that you need? And my guess is it probably is. So they're adding in more events, not just so you have more opportunity, but I think they're going to up these points so you have to play more of these events and keep people engaged longer. Now you might say, well, that's kind of crappy. And I would agree, but for the addition or the update to the rewards. So what they've stated here is that the rewards in the past, let's talk about how it was. In the past, once you completed this event campaign, you would have a choice between getting one of these event campaign prize packs, which basically would let you choose a premium ship. And what that means is any promo or any lockbox ship that was released in the prior year. So for this particular one, if I completed it, this is 2023's campaign here. If I completed this and I picked this option, I could pick any promo ship or any lockbox ship that was released in 2022 or prior. And just to be clear, that's also one per, it's only for one character. It does not account unlock it. The next thing that we could get would be 2 free ship coupons. So basically any 2 ships out of the C-store you could purchase. Those would be on account unlock, and you could choose to pick that, or you could choose to pick Lobby, and you would get 1,500 Lobby, which is enough to buy on sale, roughly 2 ships or quite a bit of gear. Pretty valuable, just kind of depends on what you need. And this isn't a video talking about which one you should pick because number one, it's not going to matter. And number 2, it's also different for everybody depending on what you already have. So once you completed it, you got to pick any of these prizes, which were great. What has changed is with them upping this to 6, and I'm assuming they're going to upgrade the amount of progress points that you need. It doesn't state in the blog one way or another, but now when you complete this, you are going to receive all 3 of these. So that's freaking awesome, especially if you're free to play. That's going to be 2 C-store ships, any promo or lockbox ship that was released year before or prior, and 1,500 Lobby. That's crazy. I mean, I used to, if I log into my main account right now, I haven't even claimed last year because I just can't make my mind up, right? And even on my free to play, it took me quite a while before I actually picked. A lot of people just sit on this stuff for a while because they just can't decide what they really, really want. And so now by participating in this year-long campaign, you're going to get all 3 of these rewards. All 3 of them you're going to get just by completing it. You no longer are going to have to pick. So instead of or, it's going to be and. And that is really, really awesome. I mean, you figure, let's just kind of guesstimate here. I mean, you got a couple $100 worth of Lobby is what it would take to buy enough keys to open boxes to get Lobby. You got $60 in ships. So let's just say this is, $250. And on an average, your lockbox ships are going to cost, if you're just opening boxes, they're going to cost you $250 to $350. So we're looking at $600-700 worth of stuff just by playing the game and doing the campaign. The main thing is just to stay on the lookout. I post this anytime, and so do many of the other content creators for STO. When these sub events go live, and you just want to make sure that you are running them, and if you want to get this done right away, make sure that you are running them for every day that the event's live, whether you've completed it or have not completed it, okay? Even if you get into one and it's like, only 10 days left and you don't have enough time to get the reward for the event, still run it, because you're still going to get progress points for each of those 10 days that are left that are going to go towards the overall event. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm pretty pumped about this. This is really, really cool. Like I said in the last video, and many agreed, I love free stuff, and I'm playing the game anyways, and so this is huge. I mean, this is stuff that especially on my free to play, I first went with these coupons because I needed ships that were unlocked cross faction. So I ended up going with that. Then I needed some gear that I really needed, and so I went with Lobby. And the last thing I picked was a promo ship. Because there was something I really wanted. But from day one, I wanted a promo ship, but it didn't make sense in terms of, at least for me, I like to build things and, see what I can do with, different kinds of builds and all of those kinds of things. And from that standpoint, a lockbox ship doesn't necessarily make sense. I mean, they are really good most of the time, and they're normally hero ships and really cool ships, but it doesn't always make sense for your first pick. So that was, really kind of a bummer, especially when I was, talking to you guys about, what to kind of consider and think about, really kind of discouraging maybe going with something, like a lockbox ship to start with if you don't have anything, because you would be way better off having, Lobby consoles and some of the C-Store ships that you can have on multiple characters and those kinds of things. Now that's all gone because we're going to get all 3 of these rewards by completing it. So super pumped about that. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, I doubt anyone's going to comment, I hate it. I mean, unless you have everything in the game, or unless you're just, salty about if these points go up. And again, this is just my guess. I think these points are going to go up. I don't see any other reason to add a 6th, sub event to be in the campaign throughout the year, because you can run this every 20 hours, these sub events. So, I mean, you actually, if you were really anal about it, you could get through this probably in 3 of them. So adding a 6th, unless they're just wanting to be nice and people that show up in the game mid-year still have a chance of completing it, maybe that's why. But I really feel like what's happening is they want more engagement. CasualSAB talked about this a little bit, looking at DECA and the way that they operate. They're real big on these live events and keeping engagement. So by adding another event to it and upping these points, it kind of forces everybody to have to play certain events even more than maybe what they otherwise would have. And that's why I think these points are probably going to go up. I did ask Kale, the community manager, we'll see what he says on X there, whether or not that's been raised. Again, I didn't see it in the article. I did go through it twice, but you guys know me and my reading skills. So anyways, there it is. That is what you need to know. I'm super pumped. Let me know if you guys are down in the comments. If this was helpful for you, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the like, or not the like, the sub button. Super helpful for me. Until next time, appreciate you watching. Have a good one. Hey guys, appreciate you watching. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, ring the bell, and sub to the channel for the latest news updates and how-to guides.